Hi guys, today we're going to talk to you about the General Medical Council, the GMC, and the various routes of which you can obtain your entry and your license to practice medicine in the UK. First thing to note is that every single doctor who wants to practice medicine in the NHS and in the UK will need to hold full registration with the GMC along with license to practice medicine. There are three pathways by which you can join the GMC, which are PLAB, MTI and a postgraduate recognised qualification. We're going to detail each of those three routes of entry in this vlog. Okay, so for all of the pathways that we're going to discuss today, it is essential that you can demonstrate a certain requisite level of English language skills, and there are several ways that you can do that. One, the first and probably easiest route is if you've worked in an English speaking country for a number of years, you won't need to do anything to demonstrate to the GMC that you can speak English. The other two routes are IELTS or OET, and we have run a series of blogs and vlogs explaining the difference in those two examinations and the scores that you'll need, so feel free to look those up separately. Okay, the first route of entry to the GMC is to go through what's called the PLAB route. Now this is aimed at more junior doctors, so if you're looking at coming in perhaps during or just after your intern year and before you've started any specialist training in a specific field of medicine, then this is probably the route of entry for you. The PLAB exams are administered by the GMC and come in two parts. So the first part is a 3-hour written examination with 180 questions, and it can be sat at test centres all around the world. So there's probably one in the country you're viewing this from, but do check the GMC's website if you'd like to know more details on that. The second part of the examination is sat in the UK. So there's a test centre at the GMC's offices, and it's actually an 18 station almost a clinical scenario, so a very much a practical assessment of your skills, your knowledge, but also how you interact with patients and demonstrating your level of English and all those aspects that go along with your practicing in the UK. So yeah, that's the first route of entry for GMC registration. The second route of entry to the GMC is holding a recognised postgraduate qualification. And there's a slight caveat to this actually. If you're an EU doctor, so if you have trained within the European Union, then you'll only need to demonstrate your primary medical qualification to the GMC along with the English language skills that we mentioned. Now, if you're from outside of the EU, then you will need to hold some form of recognised postgraduate qualification. Gabby will put a full list of these up or a link to the GMC section of the website that explains what they all are. Most of the Royal College qualifications are recognised, but a number of others from around the world are also recognised. There's a big long list, and it very much depends on the speciality that you work in. So this route of entry is aimed at more senior doctors who perhaps already have a specialist interest in a particular field. So as an example, perhaps if you're an acute medicine or general medicine physician practicing at a senior registrar or maybe even consultant level, then you would come into the UK holding your membership of Royal College of Physicians, your MRCP qualification, along with IELTS and OET as we mentioned at the start. So yeah, that's the second route of entry. Okay, so the third and final route of entry to the GMC is through the Medical Training Initiative, MTI Scheme. This is a scheme set up in conjunction with the GMC and the Royal Colleges. And the idea is that international doctors who haven't yet got their Royal College qualifications can come to the UK for 1 or 2 years, take on an international fellowship scheme. So they're practicing medicine in the UK but learning at the same time, and they come to the UK on a learn and return basis. So they might come to the UK having sat MRCP Part 1 if they were a medicine doctor. They would study, learn and practice in the UK to get through MRCP 2 and MRCP PACES before then returning back to their home country to practice medicine in that country. It is a route of entry which you will need to apply directly to the Royal Colleges if you want to find out more about it. It's unfortunately not something that agencies can get involved with and offer our assistance with, sadly. but nevertheless it is a viable route. So the requisite requirements for that are more just having the original level of English requirements, along with perhaps one of the earlier qualifications. It puts you in good stead if you've got one of the Part 1 Royal College qualifications or something along those lines, but otherwise just having your internship and a few years of experience puts you in great stead. So yeah, that's the third and final route of entry. Okay, so that's the 3 routes of entry to the GMC, which we've discussed in the first part of this video. The second part is going to explain to you the actual process of your application and the documents that you're going to require and the things you're going to need to send to the GMC. So stay tuned for part 2 of this.